Now if we go to another channel, the static will change slightly. Now I do have a camera on channel 3, which is a picture of a plush rabbit in my bedroom. And if you notice, we got a lot of these really awkward horizontal bars on the screen that are acting as interference. That's actually Wi-Fi. That is the telltale sign that this is picking up Wi-Fi. And if I haven't stated already, video will take up a larger amount of bandwidth. If you go back to Ophidian's segment where he demonstrated the Y-Spy, he actually shows you on a graph, an actual spectrum equalizer, of how much bandwidth video actually takes up. So when selecting the proper antenna, I prefer biquads. The reason I like biquads is they're easy to make, they're relatively inexpensive, they're durable, you can waterproof them. They're just really my favorite antenna so far. However, as you go through the channels, if you notice how this channel, channel 4 will actually have diagonal hum bars, as I call them. So this is just a real clusterfuck of Wi-Fi as well as video. So I'm actually going to go and swap out to the biquad antenna real quick. And normally, all you get without the antenna, this would be normal static. This is what you'd normally see. As you start to get close to the to an actual transmitter, you'll actually notice some structure starting to actually tune in to the screen. And it really depends on the refresh rate of your screen. Now the capture card has a very hard time picking up static. So if I go through this, you'll notice that the hum bars on the screen, it looks like you're almost trying to pick up a TV channel, but you're not quite. And if you look at this one, where I have the biquad positioned, you'll just faintly notice that there are actually two taillights and a license plate. This is the channel 1 on this is actually to a one of my local neighbors' driveway. This is where he parks his car. So if we actually go off center axis, you'll notice that it'll start to fade away. And then if we go back, it'll fade in. And this is one of the tips that you really should try to use with wireless video scanning. That every time that a signal will reflect off of a metal surface, its phase will actually rotate 90 degrees. So usually that's why I take a helical antenna when video scanning. In fact, let's hook up the helical and see what kind of signal we get from the helical indoors. So when doing video scanning, the biquad is nice and small, but typically the helicals will actually yield a better gain, but it really determines on what kind of environment that you're in. If you're in a cityscape like I am, you're probably better off using a helical as it's circular polarized. However, the biquad does have wider bandwidth, meaning it can receive a larger range of bandwidth of actual frequency at once. So let's see if we can try to tune this in real quick. I really don't think we're going to hit it with this antenna indoors. So unfortunately, this antenna doesn't have as much bandwidth. If you notice that we're getting a much crisper, clearer signal from my bedroom, and the Wi-Fi is barely negligible. I mean, we can get a much wider sweep at the helical, but there's something on channel 4 around here, but I'm not getting a good signal indoors. And unfortunately, this is why I actually wanted to go out and do this, so I can actually show you in-field segments and tips and techniques. So when doing video scanning, you have to understand that your signal will reflect and bounce off of metal surfaces, so you have to have an antenna that will pick up reflected signals easier. So I would go with the biquad or helical. The compact collinear really doesn't have enough bandwidth or enough gain to really pick up anything. It works, but it's a bit better than a rubber duck. You could actually use one of the windsurfers, which I have here, but it's taken apart. You can use the windsurfer parabolic reflector and put that around the rubber duck, but I find that these things are too flimsy. You're better off building a biquad itself. Now, when you're actually doing wireless video scanning technique, wear headphones and try to key in your audio. And what you'll notice is the audio carrier will actually fade from static to actual structured, audio. You'll actually hear it coming in sooner than you'll see it. But the thing with that is you can either have a 6.5 megahertz carrier or a 6 megahertz carrier. This is a 6.5 megahertz carrier. The one that I have in the bedroom, the camera that's transmitting, is 6 megahertz. So unfortunately, you do not pick up audio on this thing if it's off the center carrier. Now, these are just a few of the tips and techniques for video scanning. It's really an art form to it. You can even use your body as a reflector when you're using a rubber duck, so the radio signals will actually reflect off of your body. Or you can actually keep it close to your body and act as an attenuator. Your body will absorb the radio waves, so unless you're right on top of the transmitter, you're not going to get a signal. So, well, that's it for wireless video. I got to go and turn off the camera because it's going to interfere with the rest of the project, so let me cut frame and reset up, and next we'll get into Bluetooth. Alright, so Metatron, a couple of episodes, showed us some Linux tools and utilities for scanning from Bluetooth, including BT Scanner. Unfortunately, I don't have the setup to do screen captures from Linux at the moment, but I did want to show you something pretty cool. Now, I'll actually narrate now, but I'll put the camera up to the phone and I'll show you. If you have a Motorola phone, in fact, my girlfriend has an LG LX or LG 10,000 Voyager, and it actually has something similar to a program called BT Scanner, which, like I said, Metatron has showed us. And it'll actually scan for Bluetooth devices and actually show their device names and their features. Bluetooth scanning in itself is actually a very technical thing, and it's very difficult to do. You have to have a very good understanding of Bluetooth in itself. Devices can actually be in a client mode or master mode or slave mode. You have SCO links, and there's a lot of abbreviations, and there's profiles, and there's protocol. But if you just want to do some scanning, go to your phone and open it up, go to the phone book, and go to any contact whatsoever, and go to send. And when you hit select for the send, it's going to ask you to turn your Bluetooth on if it's not already on, and I would recommend turning your Bluetooth off at all times until you want to use it. And go to look for devices, and your phone will actually scan through the Bluetooth frequencies. I believe that there's 79 of them, and it'll actually look for devices. Now, I'm actually going to go back to the computer real quick and do some screen caps off the wireless video scanner, and I want to show you something that's pretty cool. So let me hit record real quick. So you got plain static, and now I'm going to look for devices. And you can hear the Bluetooth scanning. And now it's stopped. I'll hit scan one more time. And you'll also notice that on your screen you'll get a whole bunch of horizontal lines. These horizontal lines are actually the video scanner trying to pick up as video the digital data of the Bluetooth. Now, Bluetooth on average will not break more than 2 milliwatts of output power. There are 3 classes of Bluetooth. Class 1, 2, and 3